So a lot of people have been requesting me to do the Kaspa video, so we're going to do it right now. And if you look, it's almost falling out of the top 100. A lot of people are asking, what is going on? Why is this happening? Is Kaspa dead? Should I even buy it anymore? Like, look at this chart. It looks terrible. And I'm going to talk about an insane theory of why this might be happening. So let's hop into the video. The first thing is, Kaspa's TVL is near all-time lows. No one is switching to Kaspa from other chains. New businesses are not accepting Kas. Adoption is nowhere to be found. And I will say, Mr. Kaspa, one of my favorite people on Twitter who talk about Kaspa, is this isn't a huge deal because we have to remember what this technology is about. Remember, Bitcoin has the fundamental issue with the block times and the block size that is not going to be changed. This is where we're going to run into the future of Bitcoin banks. Imagine you cannot transfer $50, $100, $200 of Bitcoin without paying a massive fee, but you still want layer one decentralized security, but you also want speed. Kaspa is going to be your option, and you don't want a insanely high supply. This is the only option, right? Especially when you come to proof of work. Like, you need proof of work for the security. So we have to remember that. We have to keep that in mind, that this coin has a place among the greats of crypto. It just does. And it's not being reflected when it comes to people actually buying it. Now, the main reason for that is the gatekeeping. When it comes to Coinbase not adopting it, or Binance adopting it, which is absolutely criminal and absolutely insane. And I honestly, truly believe that they are already starting to stack it up, because look at this. Entity X, who we don't know who they are, now holds nearly 5% of Kaspa's circulating supply. At what point does this become an issue? I mean, that's insane. Whoever this is stacking an unbelievable amount of Kaspa, like more than the other exchanges, more than Mexi, Gate.io, Bybit, KuCoin, Uphold, Kraken. Like, that's mind-blowing. And you can see some of the comments here. Like, let's go through this. I mean, this is ridiculous. If it's not an exchange, then more of an issue. If it is an exchange, then we will find out soon what platform. We should all be buying Kaspa from them to drain them, I guess. Seems like a regular activity for an exchange. I'd be very surprised if it was. I mean, yeah, this stuff is really insane. I mean, if we're going to give it a badass name like Entity X, it's not going to care what we think of it holding a fat percentage. So this is just so interesting, right? I mean, 5% honestly is not a big deal. I think the only reason people are afraid of this is if there is rumors that there's big people in Bitcoin who don't want Kaspa to succeed. So they have been buying a bunch of Kaspa. And then if Kaspa ever pumps up, they can dump a massive amount to kill the pump and basically hopefully kill the coin. There is rumors that that's going on because Kaspa is a very legitimate threat to Bitcoin. It is. I mean, look at this. This is amazing and insane at the same time. Please do your research. I mean, you can read the white paper. It's a little bit dragged out, but there's a lot of videos on YouTube that can explain to you how Kaspa works and good articles beyond just the white paper. But again, it's always a good time to educate yourself on why this is a real threat to Bitcoin and other proof of work coins. And this is why people are afraid of these massive wallets. Now, I personally feel like this is what I feel like. I think that there are big players who are getting a bunch of Kaspa for themselves, and then they're going to release it onto the bigger exchanges, and then they're going to pump the price. This is how I think about it, because you know, when you look at high level trading, let's say institutional trading, they never buy with like one big buy, because then they can be hunted and there's a bunch of other problems when it comes to how the algorithms work. They do something called iceberging their orders. You guys should look up iceberging, right? And it's where they actually hide their orders by placing them like in very specific spots, usually correlating with like usually using limit orders, right, to absorb sells, and they hide their longs, right, their buys. It's called iceberg. That's what they do. So that's very common practice. This is very common practice to, hide, stack up, and then pump the price and let the price pump. And I totally think we're seeing something like that happen with Kaspa. That's the optimistic side of this. Now, the pessimistic side of this, which is a real threat, is these Bitcoiners are pretty much just buying this stuff up and holding it down. There was also rumors, which are almost true, maybe not true, who knows, that some of the miners are only mining to dump to hurt the price, but I guess mining helps it anyway, so it really doesn't matter. There's been a lot of rumors like that going around, but this is such an interesting thing. This has been going on for so long. There's a few wallets that you look at that you're just like, what is going on with that? Super interesting stuff though. I mean, Kaspa is a great coin, and it's going to keep on moving on. So I'm not that bearish. I'm not that bearish like these other people who are like, oh, we need, this and this built on Kaspa. No, we don't. Like the Kaspa itself is great. It doesn't need all this extra stuff. If it gets smart contracts and these extra stuff, that would be amazing, because I'd like to build some stuff with smart contracts on Kaspa. I don't really want to build on these other chains. I'd love to build something on Kaspa. But we have to wait and see exactly what they're going to do. So here's a graph that kind of aligns Kaspa and Bitcoin, and it shows that Bitcoin went through the same thing. This is the 2021 Bitcoin cycle is what it looks like there. Take it for what you will. I mean, it's kind of a ridiculous post, to be honest. There's not much to this, but it's an interesting one that I guess people liked. So yeah, there's something there. I guess at least it shows you that even Bitcoin suffered like this, and worse, right? Maybe Kaspa stags out for a little while before it takes off. Now, you can earn 10% APY on your CAS at HTX. That's pretty massive. So I wonder if anyone's taking advantage of this. Let me know in the description below. I'm not. That seems a little crazy to me, but if anyone is, let me know, because that is super interesting. But last thing I want to say about Kaspa is, actually, I don't even want to say it. I was going to say something, but we'll save it for a later video. Otherwise, I think it is a pretty good buy. No joke. It's a pretty good buy. Like, look, that's pretty crazy. That is pretty insane to me. Could go lower, but I just think it's a good buy all the way through. If you know the tech, it does have the eyes. People are looking at this who are like, big people in crypto know about it. It's just being kept down and hidden until they stack up. That's my personal belief on this.